Here we go, boys. We are now post Christmas, and now we are digging in to 2026. And it might sound like this: you keep saying you're addicted, or maybe you're like me. You say, if you're really honest, you'd be saying, I was addicted to not being addicted, to alcohol, to porn, to work, to destruction. But here's the truth: after coaching hundreds of divorced dads, talking to 1,000 dads a month, you're not addicted. You're avoiding this one question. And until you answer it, you're going to stay stuck in the same patterns no matter how much you try, because I've been there. If you don't know, I'm Anthony Thompson, the founder of Divorced Dads of America. We're going to sit here for a few minutes, you and I, hanging out. We're going to dive into a bit of my story, a bit about what this question looks like for you. And because I love every episode to go deeper into it, and because I believe that the quality of your questions determine the quality of your life, I have questions here at the end, possibly a challenge for you as well. So I want you to stick to the end. I want you to think about that these next couple days going into the new year, I believe will transform your life. I believe this mission, again, is to transform and rebuild 1 million divorced dads, not just for them, but for their legacy. This isn't for everybody. This is difficult and this is very hard, but so is life, and it doesn't get easier. But I believe that if you're here for a reason. If you're listening to this, wherever it may be, you're listening for a reason. Many people are like, oh, it's just kind of a coincidence. No, there's nudges. I'm not maybe going to tell you things that you don't know, but I do believe I'm going to tell you some things that are going to confirm some thoughts that you've had, some pictures you've had in your heart, some nudges, I would call them. And those nudges are going to be just enough for you to get back up, for you to do something, for you to say, you know what, I'm going to take absolute control of my life and make the next 90 days the best of my life. So the story goes like this. Post-divorce dad, they hide behind labels a lot of times. This is how I am. This is who I am. I have a few guys that I was talking to recently, and they'll tell me their patterns about certain things, and then they'll sort of slide this glaze over it. That's just how I'm wired. That's just the way I am. And addiction language can become a cover for responsibility. So, for instance, a client who kept relapsing, but they never confronted the deeper issue. Here's the deeper issues of this. One is the fear of failure. One could be a fear of being alone, could be a fear of disappointing your kids, could be a fear of becoming his father, your dad, the things that you experience. I don't want to be like him. But that fear actually drives and controls you. Why? Because what you think about is what you become. So whenever I talk with dads and they tell me about some of the things that they're envisioning for their future, many times they'll say, well, I want to stop doing this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to become that guy. And so it's not about what you don't want. We always direct them. It's not what you don't want. It's what you do want and who you want to become. I need you to see what you want to become. And so the question that you're not asking or you're looking at is about what you're avoiding. What are you avoiding and what patterns are you avoiding no matter how much that you try? I know for me, there was patterns that I avoided. There was also I was trying to find somebody in my life that would ask me questions that would touch that wound, but I didn't have those. And just remember this: when somebody asks you a question, you get defensive. It's because they're touching a wound. It's the same reason why when you get injured and you get hurt, and the doctor or the PT grabs you, moves your knee a little bit or your shoulder. Oh, dang, now, ow, that hurts. Well, you don't get pissed off at them because you've given them permission to help heal you. Most dads don't have that person. And so when they get asked the question about these addictive patterns, these things that they're avoiding, they get pissed. No, I'm good. I'm fine. No, it's good. It's just time, man. I just need time. The biggest lie that dads are listening to and actually walking down the road of is that I just need some time. I just need a little bit more time. How could you need more time when you've wasted so much time of your life? And two, it's not that you need more time, it's what you're doing with the time that you have. We all have the same amount, Elon Musk and you. Billionaires and broke people, they have the same amount of time. So what are you doing differently about the time to heal in the way that you want to go? When you get a bone that's broken, you go to a doctor, they x-ray it, they may look at MRIs, but what are they looking? They're looking to say, this is what it is. We're going to fix it. We're going to set the bone right. We're going to position it in a way that over the next few weeks and the next few months, it's going to get into a place where it's healed and whole and aligned. And it's going to grow. And actually, if you do the work, it will become stronger than it was before. Does that sound interesting to you or helpful for you? You'd be like, oh, yeah, that's great. That's totally what I want. That is what I'm saying to you dads here today. We're going into the new year. You got a broken bone and you're busted. You've had people maybe ask you questions and you're super defensive and you give these like just BS vague responses. And I know because I've been there. You don't want to really share with them what's going on, or you might overshare and basically just like piss on your ex and blame them for everything. And that's not true either. So I know it feels good, but it's BS and it's not taking ownership. And if you know anything about this podcast and who I am and what the future looks like, it's about extreme ownership, as Jocko would say. The gates of change includes accountability, it includes ownership, it includes awareness, and includes action. Those things are needed. Let me get into the neuroscience data. We'll get into a few other things, a scripture, some questions here at the end. But I believe you're here for a reason. You're listening to this because you want your life to change. You want it to transform. You're going to have to do things you've never done before to get where you've never gone before. And I know it sounds like super, enlightening and all of those things, but I also know that it's really, really tough to get a handle on. It's tough to break patterns. But I need you to know that it is not impossible. The same way that you forged a pattern or you forged a belief about something is the same way that you can forge a new belief. That's as simple as I can break it down. Your brain is literally activated and aware of where it is now, and you now have the power to say, cool, that's where it is. I want to think like this. I want these kinds of people in my life. I want my calendar to look like this. I want this type of cash flow in my life. And you start moving in that direction. So let's start with the neuroscience. The brain avoids identity-threatening information at all costs. This whole thing with divorce is identity. Your dad's status is debunked a little bit. You have an ex. I was at a football banquet recently, and it was just me by myself with a lot of moms and dads, and it's kind of weird. So your identity gets hit. And what gets hit with your identity? Your pride, your confidence, your courage, your zest, your zeal, all that jazz, okay? That's what's happening. I'm just giving you what you're feeling. That's why you're feeling it. That is what your brain is telling you. That is what the science and data shows. Studies on cognitive avoidance shows the nervous system will choose pain it recognizes, catch this, over growth it can't predict. So I have a client right now. He's having this huge stretch of growth, huge stretch financially, huge stretch mentally, huge stretch with his kids. Awesome. It's been 60 days and the dude's like soaring. And each session will come to me, he's like, man, I feel weird. I just feel it. He's like, I'm not sure. I feel off. I feel weird. And each session, this is exactly what it is. His nervous system will choose pain it recognizes over growth it can't predict. He's having trouble predicting growth. And a lot of times what happens is your mind and his mind will go back into things he knows. And some of the enemies will be alcohol or women or other distractions, keeping busy for no reason, hanging out with people he has no reason to hang out with, literally that are just taking him down levels of life, wasting time. And so now this new growth, his brain is like scrambled eggs a little bit. And so I'm walking him through. He's loving the growth, but he's like, man, it just feels weird. Well, it feels weird because it's almost like as you walk and you put on a new pair of shoes and you've been wearing like old shoes, but they're comfortable. And now you put on some shoes that are a little bit more slimlined and maybe they're made for running and they're not made for walking and they feel a little bit different and it might be a little bit uncomfortable. You might actually get blisters on the back of your feet, but they're made for you to run. If you don't answer the hard question, your brain will choose the old cycle every single time. Remember that. The rational emotional therapy says it like this, that You don't relapse because of urges. You relapse because of the beliefs of the urges. If I fail, I'll be alone. Sounds like that. If I succeed, I'll be exposed. If I change, I'll lose people. The behavior is not the problem. The belief is. I have a client, financial services. We've been working together for a couple of years. He's had the greatest years of his life. He's over 60. A lot of these goals he's dreamed of for decades, and he's attaining them and going past them. And many times we go through this thought for him. If I succeed, I'll be exposed. I'm a fraud. Will this really work? Lots of those things. And we're talking about, somebody in the 7, 8 figure range, right? That's the same thought that they're having is potentially that you're having. And so what we had to do is we had to position that thought, think about it differently. The behavior is not the problem, but the belief is. And so we walk down that road of what is it? What does that really mean? Where is that coming from? Why is it coming from? Why does that thought matter to you? Why does it matter? Who said that to you? Who said that to you? A lot of times I bring this into sports because it's such a great moment, and I've said this before, where I would be on the field and there's guys talking trash. I'd be playing football. I was playing in college. Guys talking trash. And what's interesting is when guys are talking trash, it never fazed me because I didn't believe it. I never believed the things they said about me. I only believe what I said about me. Now take that context into real life. Why are you believing these lies and these thoughts of outside adversaries, enemies that are threatening your mind, your life? And so what happens is we believe them, the trash talk from the enemy, and then that's what happens. We believe that we're the problem. We believe that we're a fraud. We believe that it's not going to work. We believe that we're going to be exposed, right? What you believe is what you become. The scriptures like this, James 1:8 says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. That is fact. That verse right there, another way to say it, you'll hear guys like Brendan Burchard, mentor of mine, and Tony Robbins will say it like this. They'll give it, what you believe is what you become. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. How you do anything is how you do everything. That's another fragment of a sentence that you'll hear. Because a double-minded man is unstable. So when you do one thing and do the other, it's not sinful, it's weak. And so you're splitting who you were and who you're becoming. It's a new identity. Scripture says it like this: the old man is gone, the new man has come. And that new man is the one that I'm talking about to you. That new man is the 1,000,000 transformed divorced dads that have more than enough cash flow, that have their calendar aligned with their kids, that have their dad life structured and set up, that have their mental side, emotional side aligned in the scriptures, aligned with who they're becoming. They are set up for greatness. They are writing the story. They are the writers of the next chapters. They are designing their life. That's you. That's who I'm talking to. That is the one that should stir something in you to say, I am no longer allowing anybody else to write a chapter of my story. I am the writer. I'm firing the old writers. Imagine you're writing a movie. I'm firing them all. I'm firing it all. I'm hiring a new writer. What does that writer want? What does that writer say? What does that writer think about? What does that writer talk to, hang around with, his kids, the whole thing? That is that new man that you're becoming. That script, that person, that identity has to become so specific, so unique, so particular that it is everything that you're doing each and every day and each and every hour. So listen to this. You don't fail because the ladder is broken. Which, imagine a ladder. You fail or you fall. You don't fall because the ladder is broken. You fall because it's leaning against the wrong wall. And so until your identity shifts, your discipline always slides. You got to catch that. When you have it leaned up against the wrong thing, the wrong identity, the wrong picture, the wrong place, you're going, that's where you're going to go. Where is your ladder leaning and where are you climbing it to? Who's holding you accountable on that? The FAST system says it like this: the focus and faith is who must you become for your kids to thrive. The accountability and awareness is who knows your real struggle and not your public story. What separates the rich from the poor, the successful from the average, the good from the great, is humility and coachability. When I have those clients, one-on-one clients, the difference maker in all of them is humility and coachability. How much are they asking questions? How much are they open to learning? How much are they open to growth? How much are they open to their real story? How much of the real story are they sharing? And the more that they do, the faster that they grow. S is strategy and systems. What daily system forces truth instead of avoidance? One of the strategies for me was a journal, and I recommend this for everyone, is just first writing it out just to yourself, just so that you can get it out of yourself. I remember there was a long time where I wouldn't even be able to write in my journal that I had weed gummies because I felt so ashamed and so guilty, or that I had drank too much. I wouldn't even write it down because I didn't want anybody to read any of it. And that was just how I process things, because until I started to get it out, just say, you know what? This is a problem. This is a problem. This is it. This happened again. This happened again. I want to get out of this. This is the system I'm going to do, blah, blah, blah. And then finally, it's out. It's gone. Gone. Not an issue. Gone. Never here again. Transformation, the T in the FAST system, is breakthrough isn't intensity. It's truth sustained. It's truth sustained. Scripture says, the truth you know will set you free. And I think just that statement right there, if you thought about that, the truth that you know about your life, the truth that you know about your children will set you free. And what does that freedom look like to you? Which means that those are the steps for you to get to freedom. The truth that you know, you might say, I know that I'm this type of a person. I know that I have greatness in me. I know my children do, will set me free. What does that freedom look like? And then we build out the steps to get there. Here's a transformation challenge. We'll get you out of here. A couple days to the new year, a couple days of 2026, a couple days to reflect, get this stuff out of you. Here's the challenge. 1 question journal for the next 5 days. Every night, ask yourself, what am I avoiding because it threatens my identity? Write it. Don't spiritualize it. Don't moralize it. Don't cover it up like I did. Just expose it. Get that thing out there. The picture I get is, imagine you're going to a gun range, and imagine you first start shooting, but it's just a brick wall in the back, right? You're just shooting. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Now I want you to imagine there's maybe like a little pig that's got a target on its side, and it's walking across the shooting range alley. You got your gun out. And guess what you get to do? You get to put some holes in that piggy. When you have a target, when you have something you're going for, you can expose it. You can target it. You can destroy it. I want you to think of that little piggy as being those things that you need to get out from your pockets, those things that you're ashamed of, guilty of. I've had people tell me that they hired prostitutes and were guilty about that, felt ashamed. You know, like spiritual dudes, Christian guys that were like, man, I hired prostitutes. I was in a low moment and, you know, I did that. Get that thing out, man. Blow that thing to pieces. Ask the Lord for forgiveness. Might be other things, man. Might be stuff with money that you hid money, you stole money, you did something with money. Get it out, man. Get it out. Not just for you. It's for your children. You will pass on those things, but I believe that you want it to end with you. Here's the reflection questions for you. Number 1, what identity am I protecting more than my future? Oof. What identity? Are you committing identity fraud of who you are versus who you're projecting to be? Number 2, what truth would change everything if I finally faced it? Think about that. What truth if you faced it? Man, I think there's a lot of freedom in this episode. A lot of freedom for y'all. Number 3, who do my kids need me to become in 2026? What does that man look like, talk like, feel like? Another thing I want to put your way is love for you. I know a lot of guys want to help. You want to do something. One of the ways you can help push truth to more men who are silently fighting the same battle as you, man, and it helps this platform grow faster than the shame that you're in. Is man, subscribe and leave a review. And I'm telling you, like, if you do that, the algorithm goes crazy like your ex, dude, and it just finds other divorced dads that need help. Subscribe, leave a review. Couple days to the new year, man. Love you guys. I can't wait to see you on the next one. If you haven't followed Divorced Dads of America on Instagram, do it. Drop me a question, drop me a comment. I read them all. I don't have bots. Love you guys. Let's get ready for the next one.